Welcome to English Radio Barranquilla, an English program on esta Radio. Lesson 16. Today, we are going to talk about the history and heritage of Barranquilla. Barranquilla is a city of sensations. To inhabit it is to feel, in a very particular way, its smells, sounds, and images that transmit us its city vibes. Barranquilla's urban culture emerged from a relationship with codes and conventions filled with melancholy, values, and attitudes. Knowing what kind of city Barranquilla is requires us to understand it, to go through it from inch to inch, to review its history of prosperity and progress, of failures between the lines. Quien la vive es quien la goza. Let's start talking about its history. The city was founded in 1629, but didn't gain importance until the middle of the 19th century. Its port was the country's main fluvial artery, at the mouth of the Magdalena River, becoming the center of development. We cannot talk about Barranquilla's history without mentioning our airport, Ernesto Cortizos International Airport, the fifth largest airport in Colombia in terms of passengers. A place full of stories and meaningful and interesting moments and experiences.
Hello everyone, my name is Luz. Last February, I went to Barranquilla to visit my family after almost 10 years. I can't really describe all the emotions I was feeling the moment the flight attendant informed us that we were about to land in Barranquilla, that we were about to land at Ernesto Cortizos Airport. I wanted to cry because I was happy. I was smiling because I was happy. My whole body wanted to dance because I was happy. Just gazing at the city from the sky was amazing. Shivering because I knew I was home. And the first thing I wanted to do was eat our unique food. Eat a piece of pollo de mazorca and cheese, aka matrimonio. Have a glass of corozo juice. And just sit down in the front yard with my family, looking at the neighbors and talking to everybody, because that's the Barranquilla style.
Barranquilla was a pioneer in aviation. The first flight of a Colombian airplane took place in Barranquilla in December 1912 by the Canadian pilot George Smith. On December 10, 1919, the first commercial airline arrived in the Americas and second in the world. Scarta later became Avianca. That same year, United States pilot William Knox Martin and Mario Santo Domingo inaugurated industrial airmail in Colombia with a flight between Barranquilla and Puerto Colombia, where Santo Domingo delivered the mail sack. Sadly, on June 8, 1924, while distributing flyers for the work of Bocas de Ceniza, the Tolima A-16 airplane, flown by German aviator Helmut von Kron, crashed, killing all 6 people aboard, including Ernesto Cortizos, president of Scarta. Ernesto Cortizos International Airport is named after Ernesto Cortizos, who was one of the most important Colombian aviation pioneers. Ernesto Cortizos, who was born in Barranquilla, along with 4 Colombians and 3 Germans, founded the Scarta airline in December 1919. One of the best ways to understand the present of a city is by taking a look at the past. Why has Barranquilla earned the fame it has today as the Golden Gate of Colombia? Let's listen to Alberto explaining its name and nicknames.
Where does the name Barranquilla come from? Barranquilla's name refers to the canyons that existed in the area where the city arose. During the Spanish colonization of the Americas, the name Barranca was common in coastal communities: Barranca Bermeja, Barranca Nueva, Barranca Vieja, etc. During Spanish colonization, the area was known as Camacho and San Nicolas de la Barranquilla, patron saint of San Nicolas de Tolentino, began to develop the area with the estates of Barrancas de Camacho, Barrancas de San Nicolás, Barranquilla de Camacho, and Barranquilla de San Nicolás, from which the city name is derived. In 1946, opening the 5th Central American and Caribbean Games, President Mariano Espina Pérez reaffirmed the nickname of the city as the Golden Gate. Barranquilla is also known as La Arenosa, meaning the sandy, so named by the president of New Granada, Tomás Cipriano de Mosquera, during his stay in Barranquilla in 1849. Curramba, La Bella was also used to refer to Barranquilla by journalist Juan Eugenio Gallavera in Bogota in the mid-20th century. The thinker Agustín Nieto Caballero called Barranquilla Ciudad de los Brazos Abiertos, City of the Open Arms, and Enrique Ancísar, president of the Colombian Society of Agriculture, called it Faro de América, or Lighthouse of America.
There are several reasons that can explain how culture, music, dance, economy, and even transportation make this city a golden jewel. What is behind those statues, monuments, and constructions that we see every day in Barranquilla? Let's take a look at our parks.
Favorite park or monument in Barranquilla is Metropolitan Stadium, where Junior plays. Most of my happiest memories have taken place there, and the energy you feel when you're supporting a team, it's incredible. Everybody is happy, everybody is singing, so it's awesome.
Hello everyone, my name is Paola, I'm 21 years old and I'm currently studying psychology at Uninorte. These are my top 3 favorite things to do in Barranquilla. First of all, I love to take my dogs to the park. We walk around, enjoy the view, and meet lots of people. On second place, there's the Malecón, the perfect place to go skating and ride my bike with my friends and family. Last but not least, I enjoy very much going to the cinema, eat popcorn, and enjoy with my friends.
What is my favorite park? Let's see. I think my favorite park is Bosques del Norte. I love the park because it has beautiful trees and green areas, a children's playground, skating pad, exercise machines. And next to the park, there's a softball field, one of my favorite sports. So I stop there for a while and watch a game. It is a nice park. My family and I love to go there to spend an afternoon on a weekend. It is nice.
Las calles de mi vieja Barranquilla, doradas por el sol y las arenas, el caño saludando al Magdalena, con flores de bonitas batatillas, recuerdos son de un tiempo ya pasado, imágenes que yo nunca he olvidado y se han quedado escritas con amor, aquí muy dentro de mi corazón.
Our favorite place is the Carnival Museum, located in the city's cultural district, Barrio Abajo. Do you want to know a fun fact about the museum? Okay, let me tell you. With the Carnival Museum, Barranquilla is the first city in the country to have a cultural scene dedicated exclusively to preserve the traditions of our festivities, intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The Carnival Museum opened its doors on December 19, 2019, and with the Carnival House, make the Barrio Abajo neighborhood one of the city's favorite attractions that promotes the love for our traditions, handicraft work, colors, gastronomy, music, and other elements that make the Caribbean people so unique. In the museum, you will find 4 beautiful halls. First, the Carnivals of the World Hall. Here, you can learn about the history of the 16 most representative carnivals in the world. Second, Barranquilla's Carnival Hall, completely dedicated to the sounds, colors, dances, and characters of the most important festivity in Colombia. Definitely the most cheerful room. Third, the Queen's Hall. Here, you will find an exclusive display of the costumes of the Carnival Queens in a tribute to the most important figure in the history of the Carnival. 4. Batalla de Flores Hall. Here, you can get on a float and evoke a Carnival Saturday and dance among costumes, music, and dancers who reflect pure joy. In short, the Carnival Museum will always be a good idea, and you will be welcome at any time.
There's no doubt that parks, museums, the architecture, and monuments in Barranquilla are living treasures. We can also see other monuments such as Estatua del Yo Arroyo, el Paseo Bolívar, María Mulata, Cristo Yacente, Mariposas Amarillas, Sagrado Corazón de Jesús, and Plaza de la Locomotora. We cannot talk about Barranquilla and its history without understanding the importance of the Magdalena River. Back then, in the mid-1800s, the Magdalena River was the route for a big amount of the trade in and out of Colombia, and the government needed a way to maintain control. The Intendencia Fluvial building housed the administration offices for the Waterway Command Center. In other words, the people who ran the port and controlled which boats were allowed to enter or exit. The Intendencia Fluvial was extremely powerful. Construction began almost 90 years ago, designed and built in the architecture of the Republican period. The Intendencia building was a result of the commercial boom experienced by Barranquilla across the country that began in the mid-1800s. Located directly at the end of the Great Magdalena and besides the ocean ports of Puerto Colombia, Salgar and Sabanilla, Barranquilla was perfectly positioned to profit from the commerce.
Magdalena, que te la pasa viajando en mi Barranquilla, el puente te está esperando. Río Magdalena, que te la pasa viajando en mi Barranquilla, el puente te está esperando. Río Magdalena, de mi Colombia querida, pasa por el puente, Paulino pa' toda la vida. Río Magdalena, de mi Colombia querida, pasa por el puente, Paulino pa' toda la vida. Río Magdalena, que cruza con tal nobleza, bajo el nuevo puente, para integrar la riqueza. Río Magdalena, pero que cruza que con tal nobleza, bajo el nuevo puente, para integrar la riqueza. Río Magdalena, que llevaste a Evaristo cumple con su sueño, ahora que el puente está listo. Río Magdalena, que llevas Teja Evaristo, cumple con su sueño, ahora que el puente está listo. Río Magdalena, que nunca te pones viejo, sigues orgulloso bajo el puente Pumarejo. Río Magdalena, que nunca te pones viejo, sigues orgulloso bajo el puente Pumarejo. Río Magdalena, de mi Colombia querida, pasa por el puente Paulino pa' toda la vida. Río Magdalena, de mi Colombia querida, que pasa por el puente Paulino pa' toda la vida. ¡Anda! Esto es la arenosa.
The city of Barranquilla is also home to many important writers, journalists, and philosophers who gathered in different places around the city, such as La Cueva. The Barranquilla Group, or Grupo de Barranquilla, was the name given to this important group of writers. Among the most influential and notable members were Gabriel García Márquez, Álvaro Cepeda Zamudio, Germán Vargas, and Alfonso Fuenmayor.
Hey Claudia, when I think of Barranquilla, I think that the city has two kinds of symbols. It has modern symbols and it has historic symbols. Some of the modern symbols I often think about are La Ventana al Mundo, or the window to the world, and El Malecón, or the Riverwalk. Without the Riverwalk, I wouldn't have visited the Rio Magdalena as often as I did. And I think that's a huge symbol of the city. Some of the historic symbols maybe would include the Central Plaza in Puerto Colombia, where many of the immigrants arrived, or some of the main areas downtown in El Centro.
Thank you, Alex, so much for being with us today. By the way, have you been to places such as La Cueva or La Aduana in Barranquilla?
Actually, it's kind of embarrassing, but I never went to La Cueva or La Aduana. I only saw La Aduana from the outside. But one historic symbol I did visit was the house of Simón Bolívar in Soledad. This house is where Simón Bolívar spent a couple of weeks before his death in Santa Marta, and it now is a museum, so you can learn a lot about the history of Colombia and Simón Bolívar's life by visiting that house.
Some of the immigrants who have arrived to Colombia since the 19th century from other countries came through Puerto Colombia. The Montoya Station, or Plaza de la Aduana, was constructed at the end of the 19th century by Barranquilla Railway and Pier Company, and it is located right next to the Customs Building, or Plaza de la Aduana. The station was used in those days as a terminal for trains, connecting Puerto Colombia with the river pier of Barranquilla.
Sure thing. So Ellis Island is a place in New York City, not far from the Statue of Liberty, where millions of immigrants entered the country from the 1890s until World War II. It's an extremely important place in our nation's history because it was the first place that many people saw when they arrived in the United States to build their new lives. In the case of my family, almost all of my ancestors arrived before Ellis Island was open. So none of them passed through Ellis Island, but they did go through many of the other ports of arrival in the United States to immigrate to this country. For us, Ellis Island is really like the Puerto Colombia of the United States, a very important place in our country's history. Today, I want to mention a common mistake in pronunciation that many students make, the difference between ch and sh. Ch is just like the Spanish ch, in charco. In English, we can say choose, cherry, match. The sh or sh is different from Spanish. It's a very soft sound, kind of similar to an S, and we can make it long. Practice this tongue twister and try to pronounce the sh. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. After a while, it gets very, very hard.
Thank you, Alex, for those useful tips. And thank you, listeners, for being with us today. Stay tuned. In our next lesson, we will listen more of the history of Barranquilla. Don't forget to practice your guide with your teacher and also to complete the activities. Listen to the song and practice your English. See you next time.
When I gave the word, now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. One minute I held the key. Next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you go there was never, never an honest word. That was when I ruled the world. It was the wicked and wild wind, blew down the doors to let me in. Shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. And revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate, just a puppet on a lonely string. Oh, who would ever wanna be king? I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name, never an honest word. But that was when I ruled the world.
Edúcate en Casa, el espacio radial de la Secretaría de Educación de Barranquilla para llevar diversión, aprendizaje y nuevos contenidos a los estudiantes de la ciudad. Escúchanos todos los lunes y miércoles a las 9:30 de la mañana en Itza Radio 106.6 FM para que estemos conectados siempre.